Hello. I have a little story I would like to tell. I was out in my driveway today and a car pulled up. It was my neighbor, and he rolled down his window and he said, "I'm glad to see you. I was getting concerned. I haven't seen you in a while, and I was going to knock on your door today." I was shocked because that's not normally what people do. I thought that was precious of him. And we started talking. He works in cybersecurity, which I haven't known in 3 years. And I've always known he was a sweet man, but I started to learn a little more about him. The kindness was energetically coming straight at me, so genuinely. I was reminded that we don't need to have knowledge of another human being to feel the same, to feel that we share the common bond of being a human being, and his kindness showed that for me. Did you know that 99.9% of our DNA is shared? That's the only difference. That small, teeny, beany little thing, teeny beany. We take ourselves too seriously. We feel a need to be correct. We feel a need to make our beliefs known. Yoga is what the exchange was today with me and my neighbor. The term yoga has become misused. It's a state of being, and that's the part that's important to me. Why is it, guys, that ethnicity, religion, race, political view, sexual orientation, why are we taking all of that and making that the basis of our life? Why have we done this as humans? We have totally fragmented the collective consciousness that we all share. We feel a need to be correct. We feel a need to make our beliefs known. We are a blip of a blip of a blip, Earth. And we've managed to find separateness. The aspect of ourselves that seems to be the strongest in most of us is that we are a world unto ourselves. Really, is there any difference that two people are quarreling, or a room full? Two people make a quarrel, 1,000,000 people make a war. Is that the same thing? Is it rooted in the same causes? Is it one asserting their beliefs on another? Where do we draw the line of decision making? You think because of the Bible, none of us have met the author, so someone else interprets it another way. Even our religion is turning us into haters. The way we were made by the Creator, and I think all of us can agree that we were made in all the perfect symmetry and geometry that these animals and these humans we call ourselves are made, and we're quabbling about that teeny little percent that we find different, that's called our ego. Isn't that fascinating to you? We are one huge pot of togetherness, and we are clinging for dear life to our separateness. It's so important. You hear me, don't you? That's what goes on with parenting that sucks, is your way is not correct. You listen to me, I'm the boss. If you're a tennis fan and you're following Wimbledon, there's a 15-year-old that's breaking all kinds of records. I want to know why she's breaking all these glass ceilings. The parents say the unfortunate thing about parenting is most of us create a ceiling for our children. Most of us create an idea of what we've done, what's possible for us, and we transfer that down. They didn't do that. That little girl was taught that she is limitless, and that whatever she wants to do is entirely possible in her world. And when she decided she wanted to be a tennis player and she asked her parents, did they ever think she could be number one? They said, of course you can. Is that what you want? That's what you're gonna be. I was so ecstatic I started crying because I felt like I was her. I felt so connected to that happiness. I felt no difference that she was 15. I felt no difference that she was African American. I felt no difference that she was on center court, Wimbledon, and I was sitting on my beanbag. I became her happiness in that moment. The next moment, that level of consciousness disappeared. But the point is to create as many moments as we can where we get to experience that. And then in time, hopefully, that becomes our normal. I know people that I have been lucky enough to be around that live in a state of exuberance. And it's magical to watch. I'm not saying that we need to accept everything that we find unacceptable. I don't want to convince anyone what to think. That's none of my business. What I am saying is it's worth taking pause. We're 99.9% a matchup in our DNA. And I allow you to be you, and you allow me to be me. Find the common ground. Separateness is the illusion. Namaste.